we're done. We're done. America's canceled. Thank you. We're done. We've officially canceled America, or at least the birth or the independence of the country. It's game over. We've got no lives left. It's the end. It's the end for the United States. And of course, listen, I'm not talking about the inevitable World War III. I'm not talking about the nuclear submarines that are sitting right off our coast that Russia sent over this week. I'm not talking about the 10-year financial agreement that President Biden just signed with the Ukraine and Zelensky to continue funding that for the next decade. I'm not talking about the countless prices that are through the roof at the grocery store and at the gas pump. I'm not talking about any of those things. America is canceled for the mere fact that Nathan's Hot Dogs has banned Joey Chestnut from the Nathan's Hot Dog eating competition this 4th of July. What? Hey, if we're literally have nothing left to hold on to, we as Americans have essentially had most of our freedom stripped away. Most of us can't get a job. And those of us who do have jobs can't afford to live. We can't afford health care. We can't afford the bills. We can't do anything that the American dream was set up for us to do because it now costs $3 million. And the last thing that we were holding on to with a bit of hope, with a bit of sunshine, with a little bit, maybe a rain delay again this year, we weren't going to stop Joey Chestnut from competing once again and obviously dominating once again in the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog contest. But it's America, and they've stripped it away. Now listen, does Nathan's have, some form of rhyme or reason as to why they did this? Yes. Now, did Joey Chestnut just sign a $1.4 million deal with the company brand Impossible Meat? Yes. Okay. We're, going a little woke here in 2024. We're going impossible. We're trying to, get our health on the right path. Joey's getting older. He can't down all beef processed jam, whatever fucking part of the pig cow slop mess into those hot dogs you can. 100% beef. Get the fuck out, Nathan's. Maybe he's changed. Maybe he wants to be healthy. Maybe his wife said, hey, Joey, it's time. Sweetheart, you're not going to live forever. Why don't we go like all natural? Why don't we go vegan? Why don't we go veg? Why don't we talk to our friends at Impossible Meat? And so naturally, $1 million later, we signed the deal. And as you can tell, Nathan's wasn't too happy. Now, I don't think, obviously, because this contract was signed, he didn't have a deal prior with Nathan's, or maybe he did. I'm not sure. We didn't do the research on that part, but they didn't end up appreciating it. And I mean, the internet lost their mind. And obviously, 4th of July is canceled, like I said. Now, when these types of things happen, okay, there's always a savior that hopefully comes to our rescue. And since it's not looking so good for the whole Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul situation, primarily because Mike Tyson's an 80-year-old fucking man and shouldn't be boxing a 23-year-old Jake Paul or however old he is. Just shut up. Stop it. Knock it off. Go fight someone. The dude you just got with Ruby Rose, just go fight him. Fight him and just do what you do, man. Tyson, knock it off. So Netflix, they're kind of reaching. And so among this news, now I don't know the proper order of events here. It may or may not fall in line with how I assumed it happened. But as soon as Netflix got wind, as soon as Netflix got news of this monstrosity that Nathan's is holding over our heads, what do they expect? What do they expect to happen? All of America is going to tune into the Nathan's hot dog eating contest to see what? Someone down 13 hot dogs in 5 minutes or whatever the thing is? No. We watch because we know everyone else is going to do 10 to 20 dogs, and in the same amount of time, Joey's going to down 30 to 40. Like, it's that big of a difference. It's that big of a deal. And now that it's not happening, why would we entertain it? So Netflix came along and they said, hey, bros, here's the bag. Here's the bag. Sign on the line. What do we think? We're thinking Joey Chestnut versus Kobayashi, a rivalry that has not happened since, I believe, 2009. Let's look that up right now. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and on September 2nd, it will be a man-eat hot dog world too. Netflix with the humor. Streaming live on Netflix, 16-time hot dog eating champion Joey Chestnut will face off against rival and 6-time hot dog eating champion Takeru Kobayashi. Okay? And Chestnut versus Kobayashi, unfinished beef with all beef hot dogs. The showdown will settle a 15-year rivalry between the two competitive eaters. Will Chestnut maintain his title as the world's greatest, or will Kobayashi come with vengeance? Okay. And just so everyone knows, Chestnut, my numbers were way off prior a few minutes ago. Chestnut's record at the Nathan's hot dog eating competition is 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Hey, shut up. Bring him back. Listen. He's also won iconic Nathan's famous 4th of July International Hot Dog Eating Contest 16 times, including every year since 2016. But on June 11th, Major League Eating announced that Chestnut will be left out of the 2024 competition, citing issues due to Chestnut's recent deal with Impossible Food. Through all my years in competitive eating, Kobayashi stands as my fiercest rival, said Chestnut. Competing against him pushed me to be so much better. And I know that fans have been waiting a long time, yes, we have, for another chapter of our rivalry. And I can't wait for our massive showdown live on Netflix. It's time to give the people what they want. A little history on the beef. Like I said, for years, the rivalry between Chestnut and Kobayashi dominated headlines at famous 4th of July International Hot Dog Eating Contest. But the two competitive eating legends have not faced off since 2009. That was the year that Chestnut finally beat Kobayashi in a 5 hot dog sudden death eat-off. The live event on September 2nd will be the first time that they have been coming face-to-face in 15 years. The location and timing will be announced at a later date. So Netflix hopped on. Good job. Well done. Well done on a viral moment, because you know what we're watching this year? And you know what we're not watching this year? Kobayashi versus Chestnut, unfinished beef, and not the 4th of July event. It's one of those things where you seize an opportunity, and that's exactly what Netflix did. And it's Joey Chestnut. Canceling Joey Chestnut. And hey, by the way, the Netflix event, I don't know if you heard when I read it, all beef hot dogs. So obviously, Impossible Meat is still okay. It's still okay with Joey eating all beef. So, like, hey, Nathans, get the hot dog out your ass and let him back in. Let the man compete. And so if they don't, 4th of July will remain canceled, and we will then have to determine whether or not, as Americans, to vote or push or riot or protest or whatever we need to do, whatever the people are doing around the White House with the ribbon and the fucking stopping the pride parades for Palestine, we need to put all the energy. Let's put all that energy, okay? Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work. The whole Palestine thing, you're not going to make a difference. So let's put all that energy into the 4th of July event. Protest Nathan's, put a ribbon around their factory, do something, throw hot dogs at the president until Joey Chestnut gets back in. Because if there's one thing that we have learned in this country over the years, is that the American people don't really have a say when it comes to foreign policy, war, what the president does, whatever. Like, you know, they can promise and do whatever they want, but at the end of the day, there's an agenda that they have to follow. And so when it comes to like protests and people standing outside the White House, like, what are you doing? Make a change. Like, let's be honest. Historically, maybe only worked a few times, okay? Like BLM, George Floyd, that kind of had an impact on society. But like before that, the protesting doesn't really make a difference. Israel is still going to send the rockets. You're still going to see the beheadings on TikTok. It's not going to stop until, you know, whatever, the verdict's reached. But your protest isn't doing it. So if we take all that energy, take it all, take all that energy, the signs, cross out the Palestine shit, and just put free Chestnut and start rioting at every single Nathan's hot dog factory, that is how we make a difference in this country. Because if enough people stand up, if enough people protest, we'll move their stock price, their sales will be affected, and they'll be forced to make a move, okay? So like, if we can, let's take all the energy we're putting into like nonsense and this and that and worrying about our rights as Americans and like, you know, don't worry about any of that. You know what I mean? Let Biden handle all that because he's in charge. Biden's, trust me, he's sharp between the eyes. He knows what he's doing. Let Biden handle it. What we need to focus on now as America, we need to come together and rally behind Chestnut. And listen, we have two outs here, okay? If we get Nathan's to allow Joey Chestnut back in the competition, we've won, okay? Now, we've won the war. That's it. That's the goal. Thank you. Have a good day. Everybody go home. If they don't let him back in, our efforts are not lost, okay? We will then just simply convert that energy into the live stream on September 2nd. Because if we can't get Nathan's to agree, then we simply boycott the event, their numbers go down, and the Netflix September numbers go all the way up. And then hopefully that'll be like, okay, maybe Nathan's, we made a mistake. What if, here's an idea, next year, 2025, Nathan's partners with Netflix. And the 4th of July hot dog eating competition from Nathan's is brought to you by Netflix and not only streamed on whatever syndication channel on cable television for the old people to watch, but it will also simultaneously be live on Netflix. Hello? Genius idea. I only want 10%. If the protests work and if our movement works and enough people sign the petition, Nathan's will be nothing but forced to also give Joey Chestnut the same deal. Could you imagine? Joey Chestnut's probably going to get the same deal from them. They're probably going to also give him a $1.4 million deal just to promote them all. Promote all the hot dogs, whether they're vegan, whether whatever. Because let's be honest, the hot dog industry probably is, not doing so great. It's probably not doing great. And what it needs to bring it back to life in 2024, 2025 is the ultimate spokesperson, AKA Daddy Dog's Joey Chestnut, And so I love that Netflix has decided to enter themselves into the ring.